And as we are all aware, since August 5th, there's been a strong clampdown on the valley with often round-the-clock curfews, thousands of detentions, total blockout on information and communications. I personally and my other Kashmiri friends have not been able to speak with our parents, brothers, sisters, other important family members. For the past 5 weeks now, my question is that in view of the severe human rights abuses, enforced disappearances, violence against women and children, which includes pellet gun injuries and abductions, what kind of message of hope and support would you send to the Kashmiri people? That's one part. And secondly, what kind of role do you see for the United States in addressing this humanitarian crisis? Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, as to the first piece, it is about reminding people that they are not alone and that we are all watching. Because so often when we see human rights abuses, whether they be in this country or around the world, the abuser will convince those that they abuse that nobody cares and that nobody's watching and that nobody's paying attention, which is a tool of an abuser. And so that is part of what I would say. We are watching. The second piece of it is, there's a lot that needs to happen. First of all, under this administration, they have decimated the State Department. Decimated it. And so, as an example of that point, there is currently no ambassador to Pakistan. And that needs to be addressed. Because if the United States in any meaningful way will have any influence on what is happening in Kashmir, we need to have a representative who can be on the ground, as it relates to the president's responsibility as commander-in-chief. Maybe because most of my career has been spent and focused on keeping people safe, I take that component of the job very seriously. And the commander-in-chief must always have as her highest priority our nation's security and the security of the homeland, but also leading with our values. And part of the values of who we are as a nation is that we speak out about human rights abuses, and where appropriate, we intervene. So that is how I would lead as Commander-in-Chief. With that as a value, that would be an important value with which I would lead and immediately restock the State Department, understanding that one of the greatest strengths that we have then, and that the Commander-in-Chief has, is the ability to lead with a strong diplomatic corps that can then become involved in a way that allows us to be informed in our engagement. So that's how I would deal with it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Senator has